They said she grills the best chicken in town, spicy, juicy, seasoned with herbs that dance on your tongue and flavors that haunt your cravings. From the first bite, people were addicted, coming from far and wide, begging for one more piece. But how could one woman's chicken taste so divine? Was it just skill, or something darker marinating beneath the surface? Find out in the story of Madame Suckbone. Her name was Madame Isabella Okonye, the only child of her parents. When they passed in a tragic accident, the only thing left to her was grief. Her uncles and aunts' greed forced her out of her family home. No inheritance, no shelter, no mercy. She wandered from one neighboring village to another, scrubbing floors, washing clothes, doing any job that could feed her. 4 months, she survived on crops and prayers, sleeping wherever the night found her, until she reached Umunachi, a village far from where she once knew. She had hopped to rent a room and begging again, but the landlords were merciless. If you don't have money, then leave. Even goats need shelter money, one scoffed. She begged, pleaded, but no one cared. She was an outsider, and in Umunachi, outsider were invisible. Tears welled in her eyes as she walked in the village, heartbroken and exhausted. The sky was darkening and her hope was thinning. She had nowhere left to go. So she walked towards the village river. She only wanted to rinse herself, to wash away the dust of shame before night fell. As she approached the water, something caught her eyes. A house, small, silent, just beside the riverbank. It looked old but not broken, empty but not dead. Who would leave a whole house here, she whispered. She stepped closer, heart pounding. The door creaked open without resistance. Inside it was dusty but livable. A table, a bed, a tiny kitchen space. Her lips quivered. "Thank you, God," she said shakily. "Maybe this is my beginning." That night, Isabella swept and cleaned every corner of the house. She lit a tiny lamp from her travel bag and curled up on the narrow bed. For the first time in months, she slept in peace until midnight came. A chilling wind blew through the house. Though the windows were shut, the flame of her lamp flickered violently, then died.
Child!
Isabella's eyes snapped open. Standing by the bed was a figure glowing, radiant, terrifying, a woman tall and otherworldly. Her skin shimmering like water under moonlight, her voice echoed from everywhere.
I am Immirimma, the river goddess of Umunachi. I have seen your pain, your rejection, your sorrow.
Who are you? What do you want from me?
I want to bless you, child. I want to give you riches, fame, power, a life of glory in this very village and turn it back on you.
You will do that for me?
Yes, but you must serve me in return. By morning, a part of this house will become a restaurant, beautiful and shining. Outside, you'll find sacks filled with chicken, spices, oil, drinks. Every morning, I'll provide. Your job is simple. Cook. Make the chicken irresistible. Fry it with pepper and onions. Season it richly. The smell alone will summon crowds from across Umunachi. Feed them. Give them the chicken. Give them the drinks. And as they eat, I will feed. Their life source will flow into the river. You will prosper as the widow. You will rise as the fall.
Isabella sat up staring at the goddess with wide eyes. Her mind raced. These villagers had laughed at her, spat at her, watched her suffer. Now, someone wanted to reward her, make her powerful, make her matter. A slow smile curved on her lips. "Yes," she said coldly. "I accept. I want the riches, I want the fame, I want them to crawl to me, let them pay for ignoring me." Immirimma's eyes gleamed.
Good. Welcome to the land of riches, my daughter.
And just like that, she vanished. Outside, the river rippled as if it had heard every word. Isabella woke up to the scent of possibilities and the sound of change. The once rickety house by Umunachi River had been completely transformed. Just like Immirimma had promised. The living area had become a stunning restaurant, polished wooden floors, glimmering tables neatly arranged with elegant chairs and curtains that danced with the morning breeze. The old kitchen was now a culinary dream, sleek countertops, clean utensils, rows of spices lined up like soldiers and pots that shone like new coins. But what truly caught her breath was outside. Right beside the riverbank stood a grill station. A sleek iron frying stand, tall and black, forged like something from the gods themselves. Beneath it, glowing coals cracked gently, giving off a low, steady heat. The fire didn't smoke, it didn't spit. It just glowed like it knew its purpose. And surrounding it were sacks filled with fresh chicken, soft, plump, clean, and ready. There were crates of drinks, too packed and cold, already sweating with icy condensation. Even in the unforgiving heat of Umunachi, no fridge, no cooler, just cold by magic. Isabella didn't question it, she smiled. "Let's begin," she whispered. She washed the chicken with precision, humming a sweet melody as she worked. Then came the seasoning: thick pepper paste, garlic, ginger, diced onions, dried herbs, a splash of palm oil, and a mysterious black powder with a strange smoky scent. She marinated the chicken in silence, brushing the peppery paste over every inch, letting it soak in like a ritual. When she placed the first set on the grill station, the sound was immediate, a deep, satisfying sizzle. The meat danced on the iron grate as the heat kissed it alive. The oil burbled and the peppers seared, sending up thick waves of aromatic steam that floated across the air like holy incense. Two girls fetching water nearby stopped mid-step. "Jesus, what's that smell?" said Amara, her eyes wide. Her friend Ngozi blinked. "Chicken. Roasted. Fried. I don't even know again, but my spirit is telling me it's juicy." Ngozi replied, sniffing like a bloodhound. "We need to taste that thing. Let's go now." They carried their bucket of water and followed the scent trail straight to the riverside restaurant. Inside,
Welcome to our
Isabella
restaurant.
welcomed them with
Please,
a warm
come
smile.
in and have a
"Come
seat
in,
by the
darlings.
window."
You read just in time."
Welcome.
She
We're so
placed
glad
two
you could
plates in
join
front
us.
of them. Golden brown fried chicken, glistening in oil, dripping with sauce, garnished with grilled onions and a hint of green pepper flakes. On the side, she set cold fruit drinks, the kind that tingled before the first sip. The girls took one bite and nearly lost their minds. "This is mad," Amara said, her eyes rolling back. "This one enter, ooh, my god. I can't even talk," Ngozi moaned, licking pepper off her fingers like it was honey. Word spread faster than the Umunachi breeze. By afternoon, the restaurant was full. By evening, it was packed. People from all over the village and even nearby towns started trooping in, drawn by the scent of Isabella's chicken and the legend of the girl who cooked by the river. She charged more than anyone else. Yet, no one complained. They paid, they devoured, they returned again. And Isabella, she counted stacks of naira on her bed that night, her fingers shaking with disbelief. All this in one day. "So this is what wealth feels like," she whispered. "I love it. I deserve this." The days turned into weeks. Her name traveled faster than wind. "Have you tried that chicken by the river? Cold drinks, hot pepper, you will feel like royalty." Even travelers from nearby towns came searching for Madam River Chicken, as they now called her. Men flirted, women begged for her recipe, children asked to lick the bones, but she only smiled. "It's from the gods," she would say. They laughed. They didn't know she wasn't joking. Within a month, she built a mansion in the heart of the village. She bought herself a black SUV, the kind that turned heads and sparked rumors. Her restaurant had become the pulse of Umunachi. She was the girl everyone wanted to be, and the woman no one dared cross. She began to dream of living, of expanding, maybe Lagos, she said to herself one night. Start a big lounge, a new brand, a clothing line. "I'm not just rich, I'm powerful now. I have done enough here." That night, as she lay in bed, dreaming of empires and skyscrapers, the air in her room dropped. Cold, still, heavy, the shadows moved.
I know what you're thinking, Isabella.
She jolted up. There in the center of the room stood Immirimma, eyes glowing like river stones. Her voice was no longer sweet. It echoed, sharp like a crushing wave.
You want to leave Umunachi? You want to break the covenant? Take
Isabella sat up straighter, defiant.
You promised me riches, goddess, and you gave them. I'm grateful, but I want to start another business now in a bigger place. I have done what you asked. They come, they eat, I feed them to you. I've done enough.
Quiet, child. You were given this wealth for a purpose. You have not yet served it. You want to live? Try it, and you won't live alive.
But I have served the chicken. They love it. I have drawn them in. You can do with them whatever you want. I upheld my side.
No, Isabella. That was only phase 1. There is more work to do. I will grow your riches even more. But when the time comes, you will do my final bidding. Then and only then can you go.
Isabella's heart sank. She stared directly into Isabella's soul. Until then, stay put, you have no choice. And with that, she vanished, leaving only silence and the smell of pepper still lingering in the air. The goddess had spoken, and Isabella wasn't about to tempt the wrath of a spirit who gifted her so much power, so she stayed in her lane. Chicken and drinks, no rice, no stew, no swallow, only grilled chicken that could make grown men moan in public. Word spread like wildfire across Umunachi and beyond. People from neighboring villages trekked miles barefoot just to taste her chicken. Others came by Okada, Kiki, even shining black SUVs. They all wanted one thing: a bite of Isabella's grilled chicken. She has set up a sleek iron grill station outside the restaurant. The chicken marinated in her secret blend, sizzled with a sound that could raise the dead. Each piece bore the goddess's signature: crispy skin, tender meat, and a taste so deep, it felt ancestral. The queue started as early as 5 a.m. Men, women, children, even old mamas with no teeth, lined up with bowls and coolers. No one dared complain about the wait. Isabella would take her sweet time, arranging the chicken, wiping her hair slowly, humming slowly as the aroma tortured her customers. But no one grumbled, no one. They were under a spell, and they knew it. Every morning without fail, a sack of freshly plucked chicken waiting at her doorstep, crate of cold drinks, malt, Fanta, soft beer, and that mysterious dark cooler. She never stocked it herself. Sat beside that sack like tides from the spirit world. Isabella never asked questions. She simply went inside, lit her coals, and began. Soon the street named her Madam Sucked Bone, because after the meat was gone, people sucked the bones dry. Some even cracked them open to lick the marrow. No body left a crumb behind. Even the bones locked offended if you tried to throw them away.
Madam Sucked Bone, please give me 5 chickens.
One man shouted, waving his wallet.
I want to take extra one home for my wife.
Isabella would laugh, wiping her sweat off her brow. I dyke. I know your wife will fight you if you don't bring her extra. Let me add extra. What started as a village mystery quickly became a national sensation. People swore her chicken cured headaches, joint pain, infertility, poverty, even heartbreak. One man claimed he got a bank job after licking the pepper off his chicken skin. A local woman said that her epileptic son stopped seizing after drinking her chilled Zobo. Doctors came, bankers, oil magnates, Nollywood actress. One honorable minister landed in a chopper, demanding 50 chickens and 5 crates of cold drinks on his knees. They didn't understand it. They just knew they were being drawn there by something greater. And Isabella, she was rich now, unbelievably rich. Richer than she had ever imagined. Her laugh grew louder, her cloth brighter, her hips rounder. And somewhere in the dark corner of her dreams, the goddess was watching, smiling. Things were moving on smoothly for Isabella, known as Madam Sucked Bone. Money was flowing like palm wine at a village wedding. Her cheeks had grown rounder, her dress is more expensive, and she now walks like she owned the ground itself. People still lined up day and night for her legendary chicken. Some said her meat was sacred, others swore it was addictive. Even though the village was beginning to fall under a strange shadow, no one dare stopped eating. Then one day, people began to vanish, one by one. First, a young boy, last seen fetching water by the riverside. Then 2 fishermen who never returned. A woman washing clothes, a lover's tryst gone wrong. One disappearance turned to 10, then 15, then 20, whispers filled the air. Something is wrong, is the river, but Madam Sucked Bones chicken still sweat Shaw. Even with fear in their hearts, the villagers kept eating. It was like they couldn't help themselves. The aroma, the taste, it was beyond free will. They were no longer just customers, they were worshippers. Eventually, it reached the palace. The king of Umunachi called a meeting with the council of elders. He wore his red cap of judgment that day, face grave, voice tight with fear. Our people are disappearing, the king began. This is no longer a rumor. It is war, and we must act fast, or this village will be nothing but stories, whispered at funeral fires. The elders, once proud and stubborn, now sat hunched and shaking like dry leaves. They agreed to consult the greatest native doctors from surrounding villages. But one by one the Babalawos came and went. Even one told the same chilling truth. The river goddess of Umunachi has awakened. She's angry, she's powerful, she's feeding, and she wants to wipe out everybody in this village, but I'm not that powerful to defeat her. You have to find another native doctor, and what's worse, something is making her stronger. She has gotten very strong over the months, as if something was feeding her powers, and she has now gotten very powerful now, and there is nothing anyone can do. One of the native doctors said, "If you had brought this matter earlier, it would have been sorted out. But now, she has gotten more stronger and cannot be stopped," he added. The king didn't sleep for days, his eyes sunken, his bears uncombed. The throne began to feel like a curse. He summoned the elders again, desperate for a way out. That is when Elder Okocha stood up slowly, his voice steady. "My king, there is a man of God, a powerful pastor. I heard he healed the blind, cast out spirits in Aka, and raised a boy from death with just a song. He lived 3 villages away from here. Maybe it's time we try another power." With no options left, the king agreed. He sent 2 trusted elders to bring the pastor. But in the dark depths of the river Immirimma, the goddess was watching. Her voice cracked through the waters like thunder.
No! This must not happen.
And she said. Around her, the vanished villagers floated. No longer human, their eyes were glowing blue. Their skin had shimmered, stretched, transformed. They have become mermaids and mermen, servants of the river, lost forever. The goddess turned to her daughter, the beautiful and fierce Oloma, princess of the river. "There is trouble, my child. A man of God is coming. We must act now." "What shall we do, mother?" Oloma asked. "Leave that to me," she replied. That night, while Isabella was sleeping in silk wrappers, dreaming of her future mansion in Lekki Phase 1, Immirimma appeared once again. Her voice boomed through the walls like a hurricane.
You have served me well, Isabella.
What do you want me to do, great goddess?
It is time to fulfill my final duty,
she said, her voice echoing. Before Isabella could respond, a massive sack of chicken appeared before her. The skin of the chicken glistened unnaturally, almost golden. The air around it stung like lightning. This wasn't ordinary poultry, this was divine.
It's the last sack you will ever receive. This is a special chicken. You must prepare it at dawn. You must serve it to every single villager. But this time, you will collect no money. It will be free treat, everyone. A feast, a final feast.
Free? But why?
Because they will eat gladly. The poor who couldn't afford before will run. The proud will humble themselves. And when they do, when they all eat this final chicken, they will belong to me forever.
The goddess' voice turned deeper, echoing like a scream trapped in a cave.
They will descend into my depths, into my kingdom. I shall rule this land from beneath, and you, my daughter, shall be free, rich, untouchable. You may live with all you've earned. Start your new life. No one will stop you.
Isabella's heart beat like a drum in a masquerade dance.
You mean I can finally leave? For real?
Yes.
She smiled, her teeth sparkled in the moonlight. Her eyes gleamed with madness and hunger. "Then I shall prepare it with joy." "Good," said the goddess.
Make sure it is delicious. Pepper it well. Let the aroma draw them in like flies to honey. Let them eat their destiny with their own hands. Because this is going to be the final
Just like that, Immirimma disappeared, leaving Isabella staring at the sacred sack of doom. She got up, walked to her grill station, and began to plan a feast that would change Umunachi forever. The pastor rose and made his way to the palace. He stood before the king and the elders, their faces pale with realization. Then the pastor spoke solemnly, "Let me tell you what your ancestors did 100 years ago. Umunachi wasn't always peaceful. In those ancient days, a chilling tradition reigned. Every firstborn son was sacrificed to the river goddess on his 18th birthday. In exchange, the village would flourish, abundant harvest, wealth, and power." The village of Umunachi followed this tradition, even though it didn't favor most of them because some people had an only son, and when the only son is killed, their lineage will obviously close because there was no male son to continue the lineage. Men tried their very best to marry many wives so that they could have many sons as they could want, offering only the first son as sacrifice. Every year, on a special day, the boys could tie black wrappers around their waist and line up by the riverside. One by one they were offered to the river, tears in their eyes but chains in their hearts. The princess of the village will prepare them for sacrifice. The mothers would cry heavily, but what can they do? They cannot defile the great river goddess. The priestess would chant, and one by one they would enter the river. The river would open its mouth and swallowed them whole. But peace built on blood was never true peace. Many families were destroyed, lineages were cut off. Then one day, a missionary pastor arrived Umunachi, sent by his senior pastor. He came to preach salvation, but what he found was darkness. The Holy Spirit stirred him and he began preaching against the sacrifices. Slowly, broken families joined him. The chain of fear began to crack. They prayed, they fasted, and on the day of sacrifice, no son entered the river. The goddess furious rose from the water and cursed the village. But the pastor stood his ground, invoking heaven's power. There was a final clash and she was defeated. But before she disappeared into the depths, she screamed,
One day I will return. I will come back stronger, and I shall have my revenge, and your sons will be paid.
And then disappeared into the river. The villagers were scared, but the pastor assured them that nothing would happen, and so they continued living their life, praising God for saving them. Back in the present, the pastor looked the king in the eyes. She returned through Isabella. She was prepared to take her revenge now, and Isabella came at the perfect time. So she used her for her revenge. That spirit fed on her pain, but now we must ensure she never returns again. The pastor ordered the villagers to begin a full cleaning of Umunachi. He prayed over incense and the men lit it on grill stands at every corner of the village. Thick holy smoke rising to purge every trace of darkness. He blessed waters with salt and told them to sprinkle everything all over the entire village. Everyone must work hand in hand and make sure the river goddess never returns. The women sprinkled salted holy water at the riversides, in the farms, in every home. The king thanked him. Together, in unity, in faith, they cleansed their land. Peace returned. The air felt lighter. The river was silent. And as for Isabella, before the villagers could see her, she packed what was left of her and vanished from Umunachi. She was never seen again. Moral lesson. Greed and pain can open doors to destruction, but repentance, unity, and faith can shut them forever. We must never build prosperity on the blood of the innocent, and we must never let the wounds of our past become a weapon in the hands of evil. Every soul deserves love, every tradition must be questioned, and no curse can stand where light dwells. Thank you so much for watching the story till the end. Don't forget to subscribe to Sam 20th TV for notification of new stories. Thanks and remained blessed.